is the final of our competition. All right? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Centennial Hall. We're inside here for a fabulous afternoon of entertainment. There's no doubt at all that acrobatics really does raise the juices. There's no doubt that we've got some fabulous entertainment for you this afternoon. We've got the women's pairs to start with, and that will be then followed by the mixed pair action, and we're at the qualifying stage at the moment, so we've got 6 competitive groups, and they will be looking at being terminated by 2, so there will be 4 to go through to the finals later on. The first one is the balance, and you can see that it's the women's pair that we'll be covering here. There's some great world talent here on show, and I have no doubt at all that you will be inspired to get off your sofas and seeing if you can actually do some of this balance work. It's unbelievable. Here we go. There are the teams. The USA, one of the great teams, of course. We've seen them over many years, and in fact, in this particular qualification, they will be hoping to get up into the medals round, but the Russians, certainly, by reputation, they have been incredible. They won everything at the Worlds except the groups just last year in China. China won the groups, but everything else, it was Russia. Quite superb, and everyone, they weren't jealous at all at the Russian excellence. I can tell you now, the Polish crowd certainly will be looking forward to this one. We don't have a Polish representative in this, but we do in the next event, so the Germans also will be looking forward to this. It's a wonderful atmosphere, and the whole of the World Games here in Wroclaw has been so well received. We've been welcomed with open arms. The passion of the crowd has been wonderful to behold, and I have to say the quality of the and the talent of the performers has been superb. Right across the globe, more and more people are tuning in to the World Games, and we're very lucky and we're very proud to be here at the developmental stage, you have to say, although it started in the States, of course, many moons ago, and it's going back there. This young lady can go to Birmingham in 4 years' time in her home country and can be watching the World Games in all its glory. We will see in a while what I'm building up to really give a fantastic reception to, because this is a sport that is so impressive. We're about to see the balance exercise for the women's pairs. We've got a little hush around the stadium at the moment, but it will break into a firework of enthusiasm in just a while. You don't believe it as they're looking up at the screens, but I told you the Poles are loving hosting us, didn't I? Wherever you go, it's all welcome. Great fun. So the sense of anticipation is certainly here at the moment. They know they're seeing some of the best exponents of this art and sport that have walked the planet. They are all here. We are not looking at anything second best. In fact, the World Championships recently, 2016 in Putian, we had the Russian pair of Daria Gurieva and Daria Kalina, who were outstanding, took the title. The Belarusians were in second place. The Belgians really did beautifully there. They also were very good exponents, won a silver in the men's, but a bronze in the women's pair. So, in terms of support, Russia, Belarus, Belgium, and let's the stadium announcer now make the introduction.
Magnificent Centennial Hall in Wroclaw. No aerobic or rhythmic gymnastics anymore. Today we'll witness something completely different. Synchronized trampoline and acrobatic gymnastics. It is time for the first acro exercises of the women's pair competition. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World Games 2017.
Well, he's repeated more or less what I've said, except there is the information. There's also trampolining later on this afternoon as well, and I hope you can stay with us throughout if you are any supporter of wonderful entertainment, acrobatic, athletic, and gymnastic. Well, just hang around. We've got the first up, United States of America. It's Emily Davis, 14 years old, with Aubrey Rossilier, and we'll get 2 minutes and 30 seconds worth of fantastic skills. Here we go. Looking out particularly for strength, poise, elegance, and fantastic flexibility. Interpretation of the music, absolutely vital. Transitions and then the balances that we'll see, I hope, will blow your mind. Straight into a beautiful hand. There's a handstand there, and the crowd really know. Transition again with that lovely turn. Certainly, music is very, very inspirational as well as they break into a little bit more dynamic movement. Looking forward to the next balance now. Oh, great work, right up into the hand. And holding that balance, they have to hold it for 3 seconds and do gloriously well. And just over the top now, into the arched handstand. Are they going to create the ring as well? Not quite. No, it's still the arch, the Mexican handstand. Down. Just listen to the crowd, are so enthusiastic here. And you can understand the USA have a great chance ultimately, but we are in the qualifying stage, so it's a long road. Beautiful interaction there. Look at that, off one leg. Great work. Yeah, it's a crocodile. Outstretched arms and below the body. Just look at that really, really strong leg movement as well. Right through the balance platform. Great pace. Look at that. Fantastic work. And now a more dynamic finish, perhaps, but it's been a beautifully controlled, very energetic finish as well. But, oh, a little plaintive movement of the head. The crowd like this. It was fabulous. Clean shapes. Great finish. Lovely balances. Now, we've got 5 judges. They're going to be marked for execution and difficulty, but the artistic element is up to the judges. The first that you'll see on your screen will be the artistic mark, then the execution, which is the most important, to be quite honest. Good girls. Done well, haven't they? Emily Davis, the younger, the shorter, and Aubrey Rossilier.
Their ambition is to win a medal at the World Championships next year in Belgium.
You can hear the stadium announcer mentioning a little promo for the World Champs in Belgium next time. And of course, the Belgians have been very, very successful. Just look at the hold there. You've got to be absolutely iron safe. It's a beautiful finish there. This is going to set the benchmark, there's no question.
We have 6 competitors in this category, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, what scores have we got? Well, I hope we're going to get a graphic. Certainly it would help if we did. The USA were on the mat. The USA are in the crowd. And wasn't Mum or Dad, was it? I don't know, I've not got that information, but it would be perfectly reasonable that they come and support. The judges finding life a little bit tough at the moment to decide. There we go. Well, that's 27.59, and of course that's now the target, 27.95. Yeah, you're making a note as well as I am. Yeah, well done. That's a good start there for the USA, but now these will absolutely blow your mind. The world champions, Daria Gureva and Daria Kalinina. Kalinina is the base. Gureva will be holding those balances at the top. They know there's something magical about to happen. The balletic poses to start. Some extraordinary violin. Beautiful music to start. And to create the first pose. Wonderful split hands, and then the single handstand. Just look at how strong and apparently effortless that is. Beautiful work. Look at the control of the single arm. Amazing. It's the flag, one arm flag there, and now the step overs. A little bit more movement now. A little bit of synchronization as well in the transition. Exquisite, absolutely exquisite into the stand there. And now over for the ring. That's the first ring we've seen. It's beautiful. Not only seeing it, we're watching it in movement as well. What a dynamic position. Wow. And of course, the interpretation of the music so vital for the judges. It's single forward. What a transition that was. Another balance. Beautiful balance. Great work. Wow. Again, it's the strength. There's not an iota of a wobble. Goodness me, what a great counterbalance that was. Amazing. I told you we're in for some treat. You're allowed to stand and applaud after this, I can tell you, wherever you are at home. Again, nice tumble to finish with a layout in the back summy. Did you enjoy that? Ha ha, you betcha. Wow, we're only in qualifying, but they already know. They've probably seen the champions. That was stunning. It's just extraordinary how they do it time and time and time again. They come with a reputation, but they deliver so beautifully. Absolutely extraordinary. Well, if they don't score in the 28s, we'll be amazed. We won't be surprised if they reach the heights of the 29s. But again, it's just such brilliant work. Look at the split there. And it's just a beautiful flag there. One-arm flag. And they're just looking on at the replays as if, well, what do you expect? We are the best. Amazing acrobatics. Down now into the ring. Yes, it's just so supple, isn't it? Those backs. And you can see from the bandages how much work they've put in to achieve that. Okay, let's get the scores. So let's be brave and bold. Is it Have they reached 29? Certainly 28. It's got to be. Look at the muscle form. Daria Kalinina.
Do we have any Belgian fans in the hall here?
We need the score. We don't need the Belgian fans at the moment. We want the score, please. The judges, again, must be a little bit perplexed as to what to score for that excellence. We've got the music, we've got... I have to say, they've been very, very calm, very patient. We need the score right now. Oh, and it's been given, but they have reached the 29s. Not only that, just look at it, 29.75. It's extraordinary. You wonder why I was enthusiastic? Now you know why. You've watched that extraordinary scoreboard tick over. Magnificent. Here's Belgium. This is Laura Vandenberg and Naomi Lamartin. Lamartin is the 14-year-old on the right of screen there, just waiting for the music to start. Here we go. 2 minutes, 30 seconds of ecstasy for us and huge effort for them. Already telling a story, aren't they? Love the expression. Whoa, straight up. Fantastic. It wasn't a swing up into the vertical position, but look at that one hand again. Split handstand. Will she go over? It's the double hand on it. The crocodile coming over. Wow. Wonderful symmetry there. The story continues. Into the fantastic balance again. Will she go up? She is going up into the hands. And that's a planche of high quality. Amusement as well. The storytelling is with a smile. You can tell why they were so comfortable and confident with their scores. Having medalled twice the World Championships. Fantastic split. Wonderful split handstands, and now the base also in split. Great work there. Mexican handstand. The overarch then, and now back to floor. Great timing, is right on the button. Look at that, 2:29 in the background. 2:30 is the ambition. There's a little bit of leeway either side of that, but not very much. A very, very good performance there by Laura Vandenberg and Naomi Lamartin. Great work. So the Belgian team will be very, very optimistic. She's almost in shock as well, watching it. Fantastic.
Laura Vandenberg and Naomi Lamartin. Laura is the base, Naomi top. They did only 2 World Cups so far, but they won both.
In the women's pairs in the World Championships in Putian last year, it was Laurie Philpott and Natasha Van Is from Belgium that did so well. But this is a new pairing.
Russia won.
Just
United
look
States
at that.
2.
Well, the single. Just so much concentration, everything through.
There's only 4 tickets.
That beautiful pivot point. There's the balance, absolutely
Results
magnificent.
of these balance exercises, ladies and gentlemen, will be added to the results.
Just look at the fun there.
The dynamic exercise for a total results.
Ooh, just that little moment of hesitation. It won't be marked down too much, but just a little bit. There you go. 29.55. They are certainly up there with the best. Russia, don't forget, got a 29.75. Now, the Chinese love their acrobatics. You know that. This is Menji and Wu Shihang. Wu Shihang is nearest the camera. There she is on the right now, 16 years old. Her partner is 20. Wonderful Chinese Cheongsam leotards. Very balletic entry. Lift. Single hand. Extraordinary dedication it requires, that arch. And then the split on the base. Just look at the thumb tucked over, in complete control as well. Even that little detail. They've certainly got points for poise and style and grace. Stand. Is she coming over to the ring or just holding it? No, she's just holding it there in beautiful control. Fantastic. Oh, that's so hard. So difficult. Tried a planche that it didn't quite work out. Perfect control. Wow. The music makes everything look relaxed, but I can tell you the amount of energy and power required. Unbelievable. That's great work from the Chinese duo. Excellent. Just the hesitation a couple of times. They tried a very, very difficult balance halfway through there. Almost coming into the crocodile. We shall see in a couple of moments. Just look at that. Right on the button at 2 minutes 30. You see it in the foreground there. 2 minutes 30 is the time. And oh, now there's a little discussion.
They won the World Cup in Geneva.
Well, they've still got another chance because this is the qualifying.
And of course, that fantastic bronze medal with their team at the World Championships in China last year, in their home country. Yimeng and Shi Hengwu, the People's Republic of China.
Wu Shihang. And again, just a little moment, and we're seeing it in slow motion here. They're also looking on the big screen.
To go in this first
they always analyze everything.
Women's pairs, the balance exercise.
Yeah, over now, the legs close and the arch comes in. This is the real tough one.
Thank you so much for being here. All the way from Holland.
Just so much beautiful control there. What scores are we going to see China with in this qualifying?
3.
top score at the moment, 29.75. USA had a 27.95. And Meng Ji is finding it very hard to keep her patience and control here. It's going to be tough. 28s maybe? This is the really difficult time. Okay, it has been announced. Let's get the graphic up. Ooh, marked down significantly, 25.85. And where were they actually marked down? That's really interesting. I've noticed a few moments of hesitation and wobble, but generally speaking, fabulous. But here, from the Netherlands now, Nicole Eklenblum and Genti Verbrugge. Verbrugge is just 15 years old. The calm before the storm. What's the music going to be? Some we've seen, of course, the Russian Federation blew us away, but I have to say that really was very, very good. And I think the Netherlands duo of Nicole and Genti, fairly happy with that. Certainly, did you see that look? That was lovely from Nicole, just looking across to say, okay, well done. You did brilliantly to the 15-year-old. And again, isn't that a little mothering arm over the shoulder? We love that. So this is now the big, big moment, because with Ukraine to follow, the last of the 6, they will be certainly competitive. But 27.95 is what they are aiming to beat. If they're below that, they will be possibly eliminated.
Then Nicole, is 23, she's a primary school teacher.
We've got some lovely details coming from the stadium announcer there. You heard that she's a teacher, the base, Nicole.
This is a very special moment. World Games take place every 4 years, and it's the biggest event in their discipline, even more important than the World Championships.
That's a great movement over to the ring.
Every 4 years.
Extraordinary flexibility. Touch and hold, and you can see the thumb. Look at the thumb on the big toe. just saying, hold it, hold it, hold it. I'll give you the confidence. Lovely. Right, what have we got? 27.95 to beat. The most difficult moments of the routine right now. Have we done it? Even the coach looks a bit nervous. Well, they've got the mixed pairs to come after this, and they've got trampoline to look forward to, then the finals of these disciplines. Great entertainment for the crowd. It's a big score here. It's taking again quite a bit of time. There we go. It's 24.65. We were fearing that, but I think also the Netherlands themselves knew that this was very much an exercise in experience, particularly for the 15-year-old Gente Verbrugge. But it looks like with that, they will be going out. Well, they will be going out of the competition at the qualifying stage as we welcome now the Ukrainian duo of Veronika Habilok. She's the youngster at 15, and Irina Nazimova. Ukraine come to center stage. That's a great start, isn't it? What a lovely balance. It was held for 3. Just look at the movement, the transition. It's an absolute cracker. Excellent work. The flag. Great difficulty, degree of difficulty. So front wrap and then some rolls to build into the next moment of huge, huge challenge. That's great control, and it was with just such aplomb, wasn't it? Beautiful, no hesitation. Just look at muscular definition. And the counterbalance there wasn't possibly held for the length of time they would have liked. Delicate around the floor, around the mat. Building up to another big, big challenge. Again, she goes straight into the ring without any problems at all. And now the split below her. Gorgeous base. Fantastic, beautiful ring at the top. The half or the quarter turn. Great music they're using to maximum. Fabulous interpretation. Good work there. We love that. Veronika and Irina, Ukraine. And they step off the mat at opposite ends, this 12-meter square mat. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. That was great, great work. 6 competitive pairs, 2 of which will be eliminated. So we almost know if Ukraine get more than 27.95, then the USA will be eliminated together with Netherlands. We just have a little review of some of the highlight moments there. Just look at that single handstand. It's absolutely secure, isn't it? Beautiful control, powerful, precise.
Veronika is 15, she's the top.
Very secure.
no major results yet for these two girls.
Amazing.
Does it mean that
What dedication it takes to reach this level of perfection.
Exactly, because there's still a second exercise, the dynamic exercise after the
And that,
trampoline competition.
again, that ring beautifully done. Different camera angle, and I tell you what, it's probably even more impressive when we saw it like that, with now that very, very small quarter turn.
And the finals, ladies and gentlemen, take place tonight here in this Centennial Hall.
So they've got to do it all again if Ukraine get above 27.95. Little anxiety here. The last performers in this qualifying of the balance. They've got to do better than 27.95 or they're out.
Mixed pairs qualifying rounds. With the dynamic
Oh, they are really, really being held up by these judges. Difficult, difficult times. But great performance. Oh, it's not enough. It's not enough. The USA will go through. Or was it, yes, well, People's Republic of China go out. People's Republic of China together with the Netherlands. I think Ukraine have made it. Yes, they have. They got into fourth place. Okay, 26.110. So, Ukraine, US, Belgium, and of course, the Russian Federation go through to the finals at a different time, at the same place, a little bit later.
There we have the start list.
So,
with,
the next one, I hope you're not going to go too far from your screens, because this is the mixed pair now. Very, very exciting. It's called the Dynamics.
Great Britain, Russian Federation.
And that's the lineup for this one.
And Poland.
Great Britain, well, they've had great success, actually. They picked up the bronze medal in the Worlds in China last year, but the Russian Federation once again will be clear favorites for this. Together with the United States as well, Osborne and Williams are very, very popular. But, well, this is a new partnership, relatively speaking. Catherine Williams has replaced Isabella Montagne, who with Lewis Walker, 21-year-old. He is significantly experienced for that young age as well, but watch out. Dynamic it's called, and certainly we're going to get dynamism. Oh, just a little adjustment there at the end, but that was a beautiful, beautiful to hands, onto the legs. Great work. 14 years old, I beg your pardon, 16 years old is Catherine Williams. So, oh my goodness, that was a great back. Couple of somersaults there in the tuck position, and then we're going to see a lot more revolutions as well. Oh, look at that in the pikes as well. Beautiful. The doubles in the pikes. And again, the dramatic music made use of. Again, tuck position, and then the reverse. Some great work there on the front wraps and the back wrap. Good tumbles there, and the twists as well as the back somersault finish there. The big finish, perhaps. What have you got? Layout. Oh, yes. Just a little bit off to the side, perhaps, but good performance here. Yep, good work. Well done. Lewis Walker, Catherine Williams. They get a big cheer. They've got good fans here, no doubt about that. They're even keeping that display going as they walk from the mat. Well, it's going to take perhaps a little while for Catherine Williams to settle in to replace Isabella, but a solid start there. And of course, look, that's lovely, isn't it? Just that little moment of well done, young lady. 16 years old. But they're going to have to wait a little bit. 2 minutes, you can see, is the routine time. 1:58, just a little bit undercooked, but he is now he's so experienced now.
And winner of several World Cup medals.
That's good. That's really nice. A little bit of impact shuddering, wasn't there? But not quite as smooth as we'll see from the Russians. But yeah, great work there. The tucks, the double, and now there's the back wrap. And there's the front wrap. Good catch. Yeah, his target was reached there, and even the facial expression is all in beautiful harmony. And then those great layouts. It's certainly a fabulous start there in this mixed pair dynamic exercise. Now the scores. It's extraordinary. He has so much experience. She will be here really for the first time in the huge spotlight of the world's media. It's a tough place to be. Well, he knows the music, that's for sure. The Polish crowd waiting for the score. What are we looking at here? Come on.
They as well have
Again,
second qualifying round with
the dynamic formerly known as tempo, apparently, demonstrating power, strength and grace. And all the acrobatic moves involve the phases of springing and flight and rotation and landing. There you go, 27.18. 27.18. Well, we are in elimination at qualification times, and well, the Great Britain team will probably be fairly happy with that, but it was under the score that Lewis Walker made in the World Championships last time out. But here they come, the sensational Marina Chenova and Georgia Pataraya. These are unbelievably precise. They are multi gold medalists, and they are certainly world champion gold medalists. 21 years old, both of them. Watch out for something very special. Spanish rhythm. So easy, the movement into such difficult. Oh, look at that precision. Oh dear, extraordinary double, and landed it magnificently. With twists as well. Oh, fabulous. Layout backs with twists. Here we go again, and there on that front wrap, back wrap rather, and then to the front. It is just beautiful. The swing. Oh, and the swing again. Oh my goodness. That's something we haven't seen before from them. Treble back. Unbelievable. Coming up towards the end now, and again, whoa, just a little slip back there. Slightly overcooked perhaps, but beautiful work. The tumble. And the big finish. Well, they've got a chance to perfect it this evening, that's for sure. We're in qualifying rounds, so definitely the Russian Federation, Marina Chenova and Georgi Patarea will certainly have no problems with the qualification there, but what will they score? We shall check it out in a while. They made a 29.53 in the World Championships. Great Britain on this first pairing to go at 27.10. So 29s certainly. There was a combination piece there with wraps in between that was just stunning. And look at that with pikes. Yeah, fabulous landing. And now with the twists, and again, perfect landing. And now just that fabulous lift. That's the Diamidov. And carries on. Diamidov again as the swing through and then up with forward tuck somersaults, 2 of them. Into the back wrap again. There's so much extraordinary stuff going on. And the little log roll to finish there.
They're amongst the favorites for the gold here in Wroclaw. And here's why.
It is beautiful, and I think she'll be up in the 20. They will be up in the 29s. They have to be. 29.69. That's even better than at the World Championships. No wonder we've got a smile there from Marina Chenova. Great performance. So from Portugal, João Martins, 22 years old. And Carolina Diaz is just 14. She is the youngest in the competition. When does she have time to study, I wonder? Haven't started yet. There we go. Oh, that's great work from the base. Excellent work from João Martins. Martins actually won silver in the World Championships in Lisbon. So he's a hugely experienced base. New partner here. The last thing we want to see is a fall from the sky, but what we've got here is Adele just probably testing their luck, because Skyfall in its day, of course, it was a very popular tune. Just look at those wonderful little wraps. The wraps and catch, front and back, beautiful combination. Tumbles with the half twists as well, the interaction, and now they're building up. This is really a very dramatic climax. Last one to come, 1:47 seconds, 2 minutes is the maximum, so watch out. What are we going to see here? Hey, yeah, well done. Tucks forwards twice. That is the end. Well done, Portugal. João Martins showed his experience several times there. Carolina Diaz was obviously a little bit nervous, but she performed her task beautifully. And you can tell there's going to be hand-over back stuff here as well from the experienced João. Well done. Good work.
Mixed pair from
yeah, a little split of the legs as well, but what a great catch that was. Beautiful.
The top is 14, Joao is 22. They did 3 World Cups this year.
Well, if Skyfall and Adele won an Oscar for her performance, what do you reckon of the chances of these, who are actually falling from the sky as well?
2 of them, but not in Portugal.
Good stuff, isn't it? There, look at that back wrap,
They won the World Cups in Belgium and in Switzerland.
front wrap.
Joao Martins and Carolina Diaz.
And then really, really nice. There was just a little bit of hesitation on the landing, but great synchronization there, you'd say. Clean shapes. Well done, young lady. And of course, as ever, Joao Martins, well done you too. 28.56. That's a really, really good score. I think that guarantees them a place in the qualifying finals. We've got 4 teams to qualify. There are 6 on show. We've got 3 more to come. Belarusia. Vola Melnik, 18 years old, and Artur Beliakou. They really will expect for those flame leotards. Lightning definitely striking here. Oh, great start. Absolutely nailed that landing as well. Single air, he had to make an adjustment, but he did well to control it because a fall is a minus point. Nice, and again, some dramatic music here. Very evocative, the tango beat. Yeah, excellent work there. Into the wrap and then reverses. Beautiful. It is very much the tango flavor, isn't it? Lovely, smooth movements. With the turn as well. The log roll with twist. It's not just the individual movements, it's the way that they combine. And this is definitely a great couple. The tango has helped me come to that opinion, but I tell you, they've really worked well together. Good stuff. Nice from Belarus, from Vola Melnik and Artur Beliakou. They scored a 27.43 in the World Championships. If they get a little bit better than that, they will probably guarantee a place in the finals. 1:58, 2 seconds under the allowed time of 2. Looking for a place now to try to wait patiently. There we go. Up with now the reverse, and just look at those couple of somersaults, and down we come on the good plant to finish. Yeah, again, a little step back there on the base. I tell you what, it is perfect harmony, isn't it? But how much are you relying on your bass partner? My goodness. You're leaving your life literally in his hands. Lovely log roll to finish. Right, come on then, let's have a look at these scores. Please, quickly. Here we go. 27.97, that is better than their World Championship performance, so they have a really, really good chance of staying in the competition and going into the last 4 a little later. 2 more to go, the US of A, and then the home and the host Poland. Right, well, these are silver medalists from Putian last year. 21-year-old Axel Osborne and Tiffany Williams, just 15 years old again. We've had one 14-year-old and 15 years old now. It's in safe hands, isn't it? The transfer, the talent is all coming through the World Games. Oh, and that was a little bit short. Didn't get grabbed at the right time. Should be marked down for that. Well, both of them, they weren't quite on song there, but see the rest of the program, and I hope certainly they won't have too many mishaps. And another one, did I say too many mishaps? They are in danger of missing out here. The silver medalists from Putian, their concentration has just wavered, probably shot a little bit because they were annoyed with themselves before, but they've just totally missed out on that particular move just a few seconds later. The professional approach is still there. They're still smiling when they're supposed to, but I tell you what, inside they will be churning. Front wrap and then the log, that was much better. The YMCA, well, I tell you, it's certainly the village people have become city dwellers since then, I bet. Okay, well, they finished, but I tell you what, they will be very, very annoyed that they didn't pull it off early. It's, well, it'll be reflected in the scores, I'm sure, but this is now fairly crucial. We've only got 1 to go. And let me just have a look on my little notes here. I've got Great Britain, who are definitely in danger with a 27.10. Belarus with a 27.97. What did Portugal do? 28.56. Russia are definitely right at the head there, but oh dear, look, that is the first error, and then it went all very wrong from then. Oh, look at this, even worse. Oh my goodness, they cannot be qualifying, surely. Don't like to be negative, but I'm afraid that is certainly one that they will not be wanting to see again. That is for sure. And you can tell from the anxiety on their face, they've got to go through the process. They have to sit and wait. They just want to be swallowed up by the settee at the moment, I can tell you. Can't have recovered. The funny thing is, I've just reviewed their performance at the World Championships. It was stunning. So we know what they're capable of, and just look, there's the, well, it's not congratulations, is it? It's commiserations. That's a handshake of sympathy, I think. We'll have a look at the scores, but surely they've got to be marked down. There they decided to form a new pair. And the coach is looking equally as worried because they had a really great opportunity here at the World Games. First day of acrobatics. And there, look, 24.57, and that is out. You don't have to be brilliant to work out that rank 5 with just 1 to go and only 4 to qualify, that the United States have gone. Now, this is very crucial, not only for Poland, but for Great Britain as well. 27.10 will be the target to improve upon. And here we have Wojciech Dakiewicz and Julia Kraj. What a gorgeous smile, confident smile to start here. Let's see whether this can get it through. Nice. And a nice with that single layout with a little twist into the front wrap. Well, the crowd are certainly enjoying it, aren't they? They're giving them a huge amount of support. Whether they've got the technical ability here now or the degree of difficulty. Nice back wrap as well, and then they're immediately into the reverse summies. It's not just a mat, it's a sprung area with the roll and then up into the reverse balance again, and that's good stuff. Does it have enough to impress the judges? Well, that was a good backward with Pike. They're certainly having fun. I love the smiles here. Some angular movements, and you have to say, puppets to finish, but will they actually make it into the finals later on? The crowd certainly would hope to see them later, but they've got the target of 27.10. Isn't that lovely? She's full of vitality. She came in with a smile, she's leaving with a smile. You can't ask for more than that. And, well, the crowd here certainly appreciate a dynamic performance of the dynamic exercise by Dakiewicz and Kraj. It's the first movement into the front.
Zdobyli kwalifikacje do World Games 2017. Proszę Państwa, jest z nami.
Well, that's really very, very impressive. I think maybe there wasn't so much challenge movement. In fact, we didn't see an attempt at a triple. There's some doubles there with Pike, but that's 26.02, and they've just been edged out there, ranked 5. Oh, it was so close, wasn't it? But they really, obviously, you can tell they've got a great relationship. Well, that is now confirmation then of our finalists later on. There they are, top 4. Great Britain just squeezed in with a 27.180. But there's more to come from the Russian Federation, 29.69. They've done even better than that. There's going to be a great final later on.
Okay guys, I have another competition for you. Who want to play? And who want to win something? I will show you what I have. I have special box, for example. I have t-shirts. T-shirts with logo Wroclaw the World Games 2017. I have some special ultimate frisbee to every these gadgets I will give the best crowd, czyli wszystkie te gadżety dam na tą trybunę, która będzie najgłośniejsza. Oczywiście może ta jest mniejsza, ale to nie znaczy, że jest cichsza. I teraz uwaga, ladies and gentlemen, that will be some training. I have maybe 20-30 gifts for you. That will be training. This crowd have to say something. Okay, we can with the microphone. This crowd have to say word. These games are this crowd Wrocław, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, word. Okay, once again. And that's what I said. This crowd is very loud. Okay, that was only training. Now we try 2 times the same. Czyli teraz spróbujemy 2 razy zrobić to samo. I jeżeli któraś z trybun będzie najgłośniejsza, to do tej trybuny trafią wszystkie gadżety, które mam, dobra? Uwaga, uwaga. Robimy teraz już finał. Uwaga, uwaga. Okay, okay. I need somebody I need some judge. It's been jury. Maybe. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the World Games 2017 in Wrocław. Big applause for our president. He will be our judge for this competition. Mr. President, come on. Okay, I need some judge because that will be very difficult competition. I have to choose who will be the best. Czyli teraz będzie to bardzo trudne, potrzebuję, może panią. Where are you from? From Ukraine, come on. You'll be my judge, okay? We'll choose who will be the best. Czyli my tutaj we dwójkę podejmiemy decyzję, która trybun jest najlepsza. Who will be the louder, then this crowd will win, alright? Ladies and gentlemen, once again. And what is your name? Anna. Which one was the louder? Maybe we'll choose 2. Wybierzmy 2 i zróbmy finał. Ta i ta. Okay. Word. Wrocław. Tak było. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Well, we're looking out over the beautiful space for gymnastics here in Wrocław at the World Games of 2017 here in Poland. And there's so much gymnastics to come, so much exciting action to take place here in the Centennial Hall, the beautiful Centennial Hall, over 100 years old it is. And it's going to be hosting, as well as the acrobatic disciplines, and there's plenty more of that to come, the trampoline events as well, the synchronized trampoline events and the double mini trampoline. And we're going to be focusing on some synchronized trampoline in just a moment. There's a men's competition and a women's competition here at these 2017 World Games. Reflecting back on the acrobatic gymnastics, there'll be an opportunity for all of those pairs to go one more time in qualification as they move either from dynamic to balance or balance to dynamic. And a spot in the finals is still up for grabs. Even those that are far and away in the lead, they need to perform at their absolute best to keep hold of that qualification spot.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going for first.
Wow. Colleague at ground level, the Master of Ceremonies, is certainly keeping the crowd entertained here, but there won't be too much staying on the ground in a short while because we'll be heading up into the air for trampoline gymnastics, for the spectacular synchronized competition. You can see the 2 trampolines set up there. There'll be some safety mats either side of them in due course, held in place by the spotters, so hopefully there won't be any need for them, but they're there just in case as a safety precaution.
And I will bring to you, all right? Everything is perfect?
Trampolining, which held its first World Championships in 1964. Initially it was mixed synchro that was the first event to come in when synchronized trampolining was introduced. That was in the 65 World Championships, and then men's and women's synchro became a regular part of the trampoline gymnastics program from 1966 onwards. Trampolining, of course, was introduced to the Olympic program at Sydney back in 2000. There are 2 Olympic medal events, the men's individual and the women's individual. And that's why at the World Games we have the men's and women's synchro event instead, and the double mini trampoline. So much like as is the case with rhythmic gymnastics, that has a presence both at the Olympic Games and at the World Games, there's no overlap in terms of the actual events that take place. There's space for lots of different routines in the world of trampoline gymnastics. We're going to have a look at men's synchronized trampoline qualification in just a moment. And there are some top-level pairs waiting to go in this and waiting to have a run at a gold medal. First, they've got to qualify. That's the immediate challenge. 2 routines in the qualification process, just the one in the final. Talk a little bit more about those routines in a moment and exactly what it is the judges are looking for, how they make their evaluation. We have Japan, the United States of America, the Russian Federation, Portugal, Ukraine. Not just them, moving on, there's the People's Republic of China, France, Poland, Australia and Denmark. Those are the 10 that make up the start list for the men's synchronized trampoline qualification. The gymnasts will parade into the arena very shortly. We get a chance to see them introduced to the crowd and also for them to have their warm-up contact time with the apparatus as well. A limited contact time of great importance to the gymnasts. Next to the trampolines, of course, is the space for acrobatic gymnastics. If you're just joining us for this qualification competition in trampolining, then do take note of the space for acrobatic gymnastics that's set up there as well, because the acrobatics gymnastics finals will be happening later, as will the finals in men's synchro trampolining. It's a 12 by 12 floor for acrobatic gymnastics. If you haven't seen it before, absolutely spectacular it is too, as indeed is synchronized trampolining. The gymnasts have 10 elements to their routines, and it's a harsh sport, trampolining, because should they make an error, should they fail to complete a skill and dismount involuntarily from the apparatus early, then that's the end. They can only be credited for the elements they've completed so far. So it's not inconceivable to see some very low scores in trampoline gymnastics if things start to go wrong. And of course, if one gymnast comes off, then that's the end of the routine. The other gymnast can't continue. The code of points for trampoline gymnastics changed at the start of this year, as it did for all gymnastics disciplines. A new cycle, a new code of points, new things for judges to get used to, new things for gymnasts to get used to. One of those most significantly in trampoline gymnastics is horizontal displacement. And the deductions are quite clear now because of that horizontal displacement mark, which we'll have the chance to look at when we see the trampolines close up in a matter of minutes. There is the high dome of the Centennial Hall. Centennial Hall is playing a key role in these World Games, the grounds of it being used for sports like pool, pétanque, archery. It's a very well-loved space here in the city of Wroclaw. can also see, if you're eagle-eyed, roughly in the centre of your screen, the double mini trampoline as well. That's set up. We'll be getting a lot of use in the coming gymnastics sessions. Much smaller apparatus, of course. Runway for the tumbling as well. And tumbling will be very exciting to watch. Trampoline, tumbling, double mini trampoline, they all have a World Championships, all those events brought together. It was in Denmark last of all in 2015. So there they are, the two trampolines placed side by side. And just by them, the gymnasts waiting to parade into the space.
Time, ladies and gentlemen, for Synchronized Trampoline. We will witness the men's competition this afternoon. Here are the participating teams.
Here come the men's synchronized trampoline pairs. And there'll be 10 of them in all. 10 going for 8 qualification places. So, quite simply, don't be 9th or 10th. Just stay on the apparatus, get through the routine cleanly. It's always customary in trampolining events for the gymnasts to be presented first to the crowd, and then they'll have their contact time on the apparatus. Japan, the pair of Takato Nakazono and Yamato Ishikawa. For the USA, Jeffrey Gluckstein and Alexei Shostak. Dmitry Ushakov and Andrei Yudin of the Russian Federation. For Portugal, Diogo Ganchinho and Diogo Abreu. Ukraine, Mykola Prosterov, Dmitro Biedvitkin. For China, Dong Dong and Tu Xiao. France, Joshua Farou, Alain Boitou. For the host nation, Lukas Tomaszewski, Bartolomew Hess. The Swaddlings, Ty and Sean. For Australia, and for Denmark, Benjamin Kjær and Lucas Andrea Chung. That is the introduction of the gymnast complete, and the touch warm-up, the contact time on the apparatus to take place now. So what is it in trampoline gymnastics that the judges are looking for? The feet and legs kept together, the toes pointed. The body should always be either piked, tucked or straight. And in the piked position, the thighs need to be close to the upper body. Arms straight, close to the body whenever possible. And of course, the synchronization is all important here, as Japan have their warm-up. 18 years old, both of these two. The gymnasts don't have to twist in the same direction. They must do the same element at the same time. And the landings, you can hear there, what you want to be listening for is the sound of one gymnast hitting the trampoline and not hitting the safety mats. That's the purpose of the touch warm-up, is for that to happen. But if you can start to hear a tap-tap sound, then it means the gymnasts have lost their synchronization. And it can be so hard for the gymnasts to get that synchronization back. They've got to make mid-air adjustments as to who's going to go higher, who's going to go lower, who's going to add something to their flight, who's going to take something away to try to get back into a synchronized position, as evidence there. Now, horizontal displacement is, as I mentioned earlier, a big part of the judges' evaluation. You can see in the center of the trampoline bed a square area with a cross in it. So if the gymnasts land in there, that's absolutely where they should be, is bang on that cross. But if they land in the areas just above and below, very small rectangles, that's a 0.1 deduction every time they land there. If they then go further forward and to the left and right, it's a 0.2 deduction. And then when you get to the furthest extremities of the trampoline bed, and you can see those furthest extremities just in the corners there, each of those 4 corners, that's a 0.3 deduction for the gymnast. So that's the horizontal displacement calculation in trampoline gymnastics. And the real difficulty for gymnasts when they're being deducted, when they start to go out of position, is it makes finding that position back again really hard. And added to that, of course, they've got to stay synchronized whilst trying to gain position back. So things in trampoline gymnastics can start to go wrong really quickly. It's very unforgiving in that regard. Once a gymnast lands in the wrong part of the trampoline, they can come very awkwardly out of it and then pick up deductions or even come clean off the trampoline bed itself. Height, obviously, that's exactly what happened there in that warm-up. So height is really important in the elements, the different elements that the gymnasts are executing. Along with that form, that straightness of the toes, the body either hiked, tucked or straight. We're looking at very decorated gymnasts here in the form of Dong Dong and Tu Xiao. Dong has the full Olympic set. Gold in London, bronze in Beijing, silver in Rio in the individual competitions. But these two are the masters of winning synchronized trampolining competitions. They got their first synchro gold at the World Championships in Metz in 2010. 4 times the winners since then. They are definitely the pair to contend with. But it can all go wrong. That's the high-pressure thing about this sport. In other forms of gymnastics, if a gymnast, say for example in the acrobatic competition, they might have an awkward moment with a catch, they might lose a footstep here or there. In rhythmic gymnastics, the gymnast might lose control of the apparatus for a moment, have to retrieve it. They can still go on with the routine. But if something goes wrong on the 9th skill, you've still got a passable score and might be looking at qualification. If it goes wrong on the 1st skill, that's things as good as over. So knowing that 8 out of 10 are going through here, will some of these gymnasts play it very conservative in the qualification run and then look to bring out the really big moves in the final? Look as well for the kick out of the legs at being at the same time. There's a sense of synchronization there in the best routines. The judges will make deductions as well for the lack of correct positioning in the gymnasts. Those deductions start incrementally at 0.1 and build from there. All sounds very tough indeed, doesn't it? And it is. It's also really good fun to watch. So just the last couple of pairs now to go through their touch warm-up. It's Australia and then it'll be Denmark, and then we will get underway with the first qualification routine. So 2 routines, and it's the total score that really matters here. the first routine has some compulsory elements to it. The second routine is a more free affair.
New South Wales in Australia. Finalists at the 2014 World
Gymnasts will be assessed on their difficulty, their execution, and synchronization as well. And that's calculated by how far out they are in those landings. You will hear it quite well when there's that little bit of a tap-tap sound. We are set to get underway in the men's synchronized trampolining competition, the World Games of 2017. World Championships were in 2015, so this comes at an interesting time, with World Championships to come later this year.
Już za chwileczkę, proszę Państwa, przed nami trampolina synchroniczna mężczyzn.
Well, we're having a look at Takato Nakazono and Yamato Ishikawa of Japan, both 18 years of age. Japan won gold in the 2009 World Games. Ito Masaki and Shunsuke Nagasaki, but these two were just 10 years old then. Now they have up to a minute to begin their routine, and you'll usually see some form of clear signal from the gymnasts when that happens. Often the arms will snap down to the sides. They can take their time, they need to get the bounces just right. Very secure from Japan. Important as the first pair to go that you get a good clean routine in. Just ask some questions of the remaining pairs. They're looking pretty happy about that. Smile from Ishikawa. Synchronization just started to waver very slightly towards the latter stages of the routine. And there will be some horizontal displacement marks as well.
As we said already, no major resource for them, but still relatively young age.
So the Americans, Jeffrey Gluckstein and Alexei Shostak, waiting to go, but first we need the score for Japan to come in. And as we've often seen in these very first routines, it can take the judges a little while to make their evaluation. So, a bit of nervous energy for the Americans as we await the score of Japan. Takato Nakazono and Yamato Ishikawa, they will have been very pleased just to get through that with no complications at all. Not to have dismounted the apparatus early. And of course, once a couple of pairs have done that, then knowing that there's two to go out, that really starts to put the pressure on those who have to go subsequently. So if the USA can do the same, it just makes for a slightly nervier atmosphere. And there's a lot of thought being put into this evaluation by the judges, but they have reached their conclusion. So we have confirmation of a 42.45 score for Japan. 19 for synchronization. United States of America with Jeffrey Gluckstein and Alexei Shostak. Gluckstein on the left. Solid and secure. You must excuse me, it was Gluckstein on the left when I first looked. It was actually Gluckstein on the right when the angle changed there. Shostak, the 22-year-old from Minsk originally, lives now in Indianapolis. Jeffrey Gluckstein's brother Stephen, a skilled trampoline gymnast as well. It's in the final at the last World Championships of this event. Nice snap out into the kick out there. You can see those judges looking for the pointed toes, straightness of the legs, and the all-important synchronization score. Arms by the sides as well. Something the judges will have a look for. So this first routine is the one that has the more compulsory elements in it, and then the gymnasts will change things up in their second pass. Get a nice snap out of the pike position. So 42.45 was the score of Japan. Be interesting to see where the USA come in there. Japan had a 19 for synchronization. After that, it'll be the Russian Federation. It's a 40.65 for the USA. Not quite as high on the synchronization there, 18.2. They're currently in second place. For the Russian Federation, Dmitry Ushakov and Andrei Yudin. Just using this preparation time to get their synchronization right in the warm-up bounces. Just got there. Synchronization started to waver a little bit towards the end of the pass. But cleanly remaining on the apparatus. Some opportunity there you would expect for deductions in terms of the horizontal displacement, in terms of where they landed on the trampoline. See some of those contact points are a little far out of the central area. Deductions every time that happens. Once that goes, it can be difficult to bring back, as you can see demonstrated there. Often gymnasts can overcompensate, go from one far end of the trampoline to the other. And that's where the synchronization went a bit in the pike. But it's so far so good for everyone. No one's had any major issues. 41.6 for the Russian Federation. It's a difficulty score of 5.4 there. Diogo Ganchinho and Diogo Abreu of Portugal. had to rescue a potential difficulty there. Abreu. But they've done well. There were some really nice moments to that routine. Nice sense of sharpness in some of those kickouts right at the top of the bounce. And it's currently 42.45 for Japan, 41.6 for the Russian Federation, 40.65 for the USA. Nice and sharp here. Very much in the centre. Lovely kick out. And again, just starts to go very slightly here in these unkind slow motion replays on the gymnast. And here is where you're just worried for a moment about Abreu. He was getting very close to the edge of the trampoline, but kept it together well. It's a 43.9 for Portugal. Unsurprisingly, their synchronization score is right up there on 19.4. Nikola Prostorov and Dmitro Vedyekin of the 5th pair to go, which is Ukraine. Got to watch out there. It could be some trouble. And there indeed it is. So that one didn't go according to plan for Ukraine. And first sign there of difficulties. And you can see how that starts to emerge when the space begins to develop away from that cross in the centre and the gymnast starts to drift. So the two gymnasts will only be evaluated or given credit for what they completed there. If you don't land something, you don't get it. That is the way of double mini trampoline and also of tumbling. Moments of lovely sharpness here. There were signs of displacement earlier, but here's where it starts to go. There's the drift. Get one more bounce in, but it's not enough. Disappointment for Vedyekin. They were 5th in the World Championships last time round, these two. It's a 36.45. It could have been worse. They can be very cruel, those scores, when gymnasts come off, but I wouldn't say they're totally out of it. Tu Xiao and Dong Dong, the very much experts of this discipline. And they get everything right. It's such a joy to watch, and they generally get everything right. Look at the landings right in the centre. They don't give the judges a lot to take away in terms of horizontal displacement. They also know how to get suitable difficulty into all of their routines. So the world champions on 4 occasions, including the most recent ones, are now going for some World Games glory. And it would be to defend their title from Cali in 2013. Anything can happen though. Still have got a second routine to perform. But there were some moments of very enjoyable synchronization here. And there's some complex skills. So how will the score be for Dong Dong and Tu Xiao? It's 43.5, leaves them in second place at the moment. It's still Portugal that lead the way with 43.9. Joshua Farou, Alain Boatou of France. They are pair number 7 of 10. Then back round we go once more. The qualification picture will start to get clearer once that second routine begins. They're going to lose the line there. Got that back. It's a nice moment of recovery there for France. You did just wonder for a moment if Boatou was heading out of bounds. They kept it together well. Just 18 years of age, Boatou. Farou only 23 himself, so France did take the bronze medal at the last World Championships, but with a different pairing. That was Sébastien Martini and Alain Morand. So we have got 3 more to go in this first pass at the apparatus, this first routine. And then everyone goes back round one more time and we'll have another go. So 7 of 10 are complete. What will be 20 routines in all. Leading the way, still Portugal on 43.9. And France will find themselves positioned there in 5th, 41.2. The host nation next, the form of Lukas Tomaszewski, 32 years of age, Bartholomew Hess of Zielona Góra to the northwest of the city of Wrocław, 27 years of age, Hess. Synchronization's going here. Well, they'll be pleased to have got through that clean. Yes, the synchronization went towards the end of the routine, but they stayed there, stayed on the trampoline. So far, it's just Ukraine that have had real difficulties. If it's the first time you've seen synchro trampoline, you can see just what happens when things start to go, when one gymnast is ahead or behind the other. There's always one ahead or behind, I suppose. If the synchronization has gone, depends which way you look at it. All going well here. And just towards the latter stages of the routine, it starts to go slightly astray. It's coming out of the pike, actually, that it happened. From this point onwards, the form just goes a little bit, the leg form in places goes, and as they're trying to compensate and get things back. So it was a 36.45 for Ukraine, who didn't complete their pass. Otherwise, everyone has been plus 40, ranging from 40.65 to 43.9. And Tomaszewski and Hess wait to see where they're going to fit in to that evaluation. Still to come, Australia and Denmark. And the medal will be decided later today. as will the acrobatic competitions in the women's pair and the mixed pair. And this is the first day of acrobatic competition, having had a terrific time with aerobic and rhythmic gymnastics. Really captivated the crowds here in the Centennial Hall. A little bit of a wait for these two. Judges just taking their time to make an assessment. It's got to be so nerve-wracking to perform in front of your home crowd. 36.35, the synchronization's down there at 16.4, so Poland are in 8th place. For Australia, it's Ty and Sean Swadling. It wasn't always fully under control in terms of the travelling across the space, but it was a good, clean routine. To the Australian duo, 28-year-old Ty and 24-year-old Sean. A reminder that it is 8 of 10 who go through, so very few will miss out. There is Ty. And the more that the pairs can just keep these first routines stable and secure, the more then that the pressure will start to mount in the second run. Lovely form there at the highest point of the bounce. And coming out of the tuck, that looked nice too. Leading the way, Portugal, 43.9. China, 43.5. Japan, 42.45. And Australia will slot in behind there in 42.15. It's the final pair to go in the first run. And back round we go again. Benjamin Kjær, Lucas Chung. Very young, Kjær 18, Chung 17. So a big competition for them here. Just need to rescue the synchronization a bit, which they've done. And once more. That was perfectly solid. And they did well to get the synchronization back when it was starting to look a little bit tricky at times. Lucas Chung there. And shake of the hands for Kjær from the coach. It seemed they were going to have more difficulties getting back in tune with each other than they actually did. It was a very nice recovery from the Danish pair. That added element of complexity. You can see that it was Chung landing first. But back they went. And nicely synchronized once more. That added complexity for the gymnasts here, that added complication of getting in those synchronization marks as well as the necessary elements. And it did go a little bit at the end. The synchronization mark won't be huge here, but it's a solid score of 37.75, the 16.4 for synchronization for Denmark. And that takes us to the end of this first routine. At the moment it's Portugal, China, Japan, Australia and the Russian Federation. Portugal out by 0.4 there in front. And we look at France, the USA, Denmark, and it's Ukraine and Poland who are in the troublesome positions at the moment. That 9 and 10, which would see them not progress any further. So it's back round to Japan, to Takato Nakazono and Yamato Ishikawa. Nakazono closest to the camera at the moment, from Osaka. A reminder, they are just 18 years of age, so developing their experience in these big competitions. 42.45 for Japan was their first score. That had them in third place. Well, you would expect that to be good enough for safe passage to the final. They may well know it as well. It's a big smile there from Nakazono. He looked very pleased and relieved in equal measure. Impressive, these two, for very young gymnasts. There'll be more different elements in this second routine. There's a little bit more creative freedom afforded the gymnasts. But all the time, they've still got to do what the judges want them to do. They've still got to have that straightness of the legs, the pointed toes. They've got to really get the legs in the pike. And if they're tucking, they've really got to make that tuck secure, and the kick-outs need to be sharp. There's a nice sharp kick-out there. It's a 50.8, puts them in first place for the time being. Total score of 93.25. The United States of America, they were in 7th place after the first routine with 40.65. Could be a problem here. That's going to be the end of that one. Oh, real disappointment there for the USA. Well, that's a really tough one to bear for Alexei Shostak. Jeffrey Gluckstein. The early dismount from the apparatus will really put them into trouble now. They're only going to get credited for what they've completed, and that wasn't a lot. Getting some difficulty in there. But it was here that it went all awry. So, how costly is that one going to be for the USA? And look, a little on the dejected side there, as you can understand. Wait to see how tough this one's going to be. Japan had a 50.8 for their second routine. The USA have 16.35. They're in second place for now, but that is a very firm for now. 57 in total. The next pair were well positioned indeed after their first routine. First place it was for the Portuguese with 43.9. They will have just seen what happened to the USA. Excuse me, my mistake. It's the Russian Federation who are next up, with Dmitry Ushakov and Andrei Yudin. Then have Portugal after that. The Russian Federation had a score of 41.6 after the first routine. Very close to the edge at one point. Just got that back under control, and that was well done from Ushakov and Yudin. You would expect that as well to be good enough for the Russian Federation. Reminder that it was 41.6 for them at the first time of asking. Nice form in the pike, then moving out of that well into the tuck. Lots of difficulty in here. Lots of things for the judges to look kindly on, you would have to think. And some strong synchronization. Now what's it going to be for the Russian Federation? 51.95, that's a 93.55, and it means the Russian Federation have qualified for the final. As they sit in first place, that already means they know that they're going into the medal hunt. Now it's the turn of Portugal. Diogo Ganchinho and Diogo Abreu. They were in first place after the first routine with 43.9. A little bit of movement around the trampoline towards the middle section, but they get such lovely body position when they're at the highest point of their sequences. It really is aesthetically pleasing to watch. They have precise form on those kick-outs from each element. Portugal have not yet won a medal in the men's synchronized competition at the World Games. So could this be their year? Evidence of the very first routine would say they're in with a shout. Just going awry a little bit there towards the end, but a quick recovery. Some deductions possibly to be made for the arms slightly coming out from the side of the body. Those are all very small things, but judges don't miss them. Fortunately, they also don't miss the good stuff.
So Russia is the first country to qualify.
It is currently 3 that have completed or have scores for their total performance. 93.55 for the Russian Federation, 93.25 for Japan, and 50. Here we go, here's the one coming in. It's 91.35 for Portugal after a 47.45 second routine. So they are not guaranteed to qualify yet. We know that Russia and Japan do. Ukraine now. Ukraine were down there in difficulties with a 36.45. Nikola Prosterov and Dmitro Bedievkin. Need something big here. I've got to gamble. I certainly did gamble. They put a lot into that routine. Well, that will make things really interesting as we move through this qualification campaign, knowing that 8 of 10 will progress, 2 will miss out. Ukraine doing everything they can to improve upon a 36.45 that came not because of a low-scoring routine. It was a potentially very high-scoring routine. They just didn't complete it. You would suspect this will send Ukraine moving considerably up the leaderboard. Certainly opportunity for horizontal displacement deductions, but some well-executed skills. How are they feeling? How confident? It's a 50 for Ukraine, puts them in 4th place. So that means Portugal join Japan and the Russian Federation in the final. Tu Xiao and Dong Dong of the People's Republic of China had a score of 43.5. Oh, goodness. Well, I never. I hope that everything is okay there. That looked a nasty one. Gosh. Well, that was unexpected. Really unexpected. A smile, that's what you want to see after a fall like that, but my word. Highly unexpected there. Now that is interesting. In terms of the complexion of the rest of the competition. So only what has been performed and landed can be evaluated.
Portugal is the next country in the final flight. So qualified already on Russia.
There it was, just moving and moving further away into the edge. Gosh, that could have been really nasty indeed. Fortunately, doesn't look like any harm has been done, except for potential bit of harm to the scores. So, Tu Xiao on the left and Dong Dong on the right. They wait. Dong Dong just wringing out his leg a little bit there. They had 43.5, so they've got plenty to build upon. It's 35.6, so 79.1 puts China in 5th place, not in the qualification positions at the moment. Now, if ever there was incentive just to get through a tidy routine with no problems, it's just been put there for all of the gymnasts now. Joshua Farou, Alain Bouatou, of France. It was a 41.2 for them in the first attempt. Just need to restore their synchronization, which they have done, or had. Oh, watch out there. That was okay. That was okay. Just at the end for Alain Boitou. There were occasional nervy moments. It wasn't the tidiest work that they'll have ever done, but they can be, I think, reasonably confident. At the moment, the Russian Federation 93.55, Japan 93.25, Portugal 91.35, Ukraine 86.45. They are all through. 79.1 for the People's Republic of China and 57 for the USA. They're the ones in trouble. After this, 3 more to go.
And here's the score from Stefano, 90.800 combined.
That's good news for France. The score has just come in and France are safe and secure. 90.8, they look delighted. It's a 49.6 in the second routine to put them in 4th place and into the final. For Poland, Lukas Tomaszewski and Bartłomiej Hess. They had a 36.35 after qualifying, and it isn't going to get much more than that. Well, that will put the People's Republic of China into the final, with the USA on 57 and Poland not having much to build upon from their 36.35. You'd expect Dong Dong and Tu Xiao to be breathing a sigh of relief there. You can see how the pressure starts to increase as you go further down the running order, knowing that those qualification places are starting to slip away. And it's disappointing for the host nation. It's only a 10.45, 46.8. They are in last place. It means that China have qualified for the final now. Australia, the Swaddlings, had 42.15 after the first routine. You can hear the audible counting there. They make their signal an audible one to count into the start of the routine. Are they going to be counting themselves out of the routine? Oh, goodness me, yes, it has to end now. Well, now what is that going to do in terms of the overall picture? The US are on 57 at the moment. Australia with a 42.15. And China 79.1. All getting nervy stuff now in the Centennial Hall. Yes, a big breath out. Tense times. World Games final at stake. Sean there that we're having a look at. And it was this landing here from Sean that was the problematic one. He did manage to keep it going, but at that stage, quite rightly, the spotter needed to send on the mat, and that was really well done from a safety point of view from the watching on coach on the outside. Very good judgment to prevent a potentially nasty injury with the leg going right down the side. So the weight for Australia here, for these brothers, it's a 10.2, 52.35. So the US with their 57 will now go into the final. That will be a very, very pleased Jeffrey Gluckstein, and Alexis Shostak just made it in. Benjamin Kier and Lucas Chung, they are the last to go. Now this is interesting for these two inexperienced gymnasts, 18 and 17. They're chasing anything above 57 here. Just get through it. Oh, Chung's going out here. Well, that says it all really, doesn't it? The pressure on these gymnasts. He's so disappointed. 17-year-old shakes his head. Tough moment, that. Really tough moment. It's all a great learning experience being in finals like this or competitions like this and working towards occasions such as the World Games final. So they have a 37.75, the Danes, and it's a 57. That's good enough for safe passage into the next round. The US had a 40.65 and a 16.35. Denmark have just done it. They've just done it. Wow. Young gymnasts, those youngsters are going into the final. 58.1 their total score. They've just made it ahead of the US on 57. Or rather, the US have just made it ahead of Australia, because the US are also going into the final. So that is what we know. The Russian Federation 93.55, Japan 93.25, Portugal 91.35, France 90.8, Ukraine 86.45. Those the higher qualifiers. Then there's a bit of a gap. People's Republic of China 79.1, Denmark 58.1, US 57, and then in the reserve position Australia and Poland. That final will be coming up in a later session. We are going to turn our attention back to acrobatic gymnastics in a moment. So do get ready for that. The acrobatic gymnastics will be upon you in just a moment's time.
I need three pairs, but which have 18s and more. It's been, żeby miały chociaż 18 lat skończone. 3 pary proszę. Nie wiem jak tam u was z angielskim, z polskim, ja zawsze staram się miksować, poproszę do siebie 3 pary. Szybciutko, mam mało czasu, dla zwycięzców mam koszulkę, jakieś inne rzeczy, a nagroda pocieszenia to są frisbee. I need 3 pairs. 18 lat trzeba mieć skończony. No to zapraszamy, chodźcie, pierwsza para, widzę, że druga para jest tutaj bardzo dobrze. Ladies and gentlemen, the will be competition for pairs. Synchronic pairs. Okay, come on. Is there anybody who want to play with me? Come on, guys. Bardzo dobrze. Zostańcie sobie, żebym was dobrze widział. Please stay in front of me. I have these 2 boxes for the best team. The best pair. And of course, something else for them who will be not maybe the best. Let's be competition on first. Is there anybody else who want to play with me? Last chance, 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay, come on. 5 steps in front of me. 1, 2, 3, 3 parts. Okay. Now I would like to ask about your name. Czyli przedstawmy się szybciutko. Vitalik from Wrocław? Okay, czyli Wrocław? Wrocław? Ladies and gentlemen, people from Wrocław, please make a warm applause. It's not last competition, of course. Okay, I will show you 3 very difficult pairs, which you have to do, okay? You will show, we will see what I will do, and you will do the same, okay? First I will show you, czyli najpierw wam pokażę, a potem musicie zrobić. Tylko potrzebuję kogoś teraz tutaj do tego, żeby mi pomógł. Chodź kolego, ty pomożesz mi szybciutko, chodź. Jak ty masz na imię? Krzysiek oczywiście tutaj dostaje ode mnie nagrodę od razu za to, że przyszedł mi pomóc. Słuchaj, Krzysiek, zrobimy tak. Pierwsza figura to będzie czas jak szybko musi przejść. Pierwsza figura to jest koń. Dawaj, siadaj na mnie, tak jak w domu się bawicie. Na koniu, patrzcie. Prostego kręcę. Pierwszy to jest koń. Druga figura to jest rycerz, czyli facet. Tutaj widzę, że są faceci klęka przed swoim rycerzem. To jest knight. First is horse, second is knight. A third is love, like Wrocław. Wrocław. Winner, Wrocław. Can I do that? I will ask mother. This is love. Thank you very much, Krzysiek. Dziękuję ci bardzo. Brawa dla Krzyśka. Okay, let's go. 3 minutes. We have horse, love, knight. Horse, love, knight. Come on, let's go. Horse, knight, love, horse, knight, love. Fish. Okay, that was only exercise. Now, who in the horse, we go to somewhere, you know, to tribune. Czyli kto odpadnie, kto będzie najwolniejszy.
We look at the start list for the dynamic exercise in the women's pair qualification. Netherlands, the People's Republic of China, the Russian Federation, Ukraine, the USA and Belgium. Return to acrobatic gymnastics here at the World Games of 2017. Hope you really enjoyed the spectacular sight of acrobatic gymnastics. You had a look at the earlier qualifications. It's a chance now for these pairs to make a significant turnaround. If things didn't go very well the first time, they can come back here in the opposite element, whether it's the balanced or dynamic they haven't done. So this is the women's pairs dynamic exercise that's coming up. The balance has already taken place.
Between 2 pairs from Wrocław. Ladies and gentlemen, where is the applause? Yeah. You are now in Polsat.
And we're rather enjoying the atmosphere here.
In China channel everywhere. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, love, horse, knight.
So acrobatic gymnastics. If you are, just for clarification, that isn't acrobatic gymnastics. They wouldn't have scored massively highly for the lifts there, but the transitions, well, they're not too bad, are they? Got some good control. Would be the odd deduction for the foot adjustment, but there we go. Look at that, what a clean transition that was. I hope you're switching on right at this exact moment and thinking, this isn't the acrobatic gymnastics I was expecting. Now let's see if they can get even more height this time. Look exhausted. They look exhausted. I get exhausted just watching the acrobatic gymnastics. Now you may have noticed that there's a difference between balance and dynamic. The name kind of tells you everything, and the way that the acrobatic gymnastics competition works is that the gymnasts that make the final will produce a combined routine of the best of the balance and the best of the dynamic. And obviously the judges are looking for very different things in balanced and dynamic routines, and they're looking for all of that to be present in the combined routine in the final. Time for a little rest for some. just before the competition gets underway here in the Centennial Hall. Acrobatic gymnastics traces its origins to the east of Europe in the 1930s. Some of the first countries to really create their own governing bodies for acrobatic gymnastics were Hungary, East Germany, Bulgaria, Poland, China. The first international tournament in what was then known as sport acrobatics was held back in Poland in the 1950s. But what really changed was when the International Federation of Sports Acrobatics merged with the International Gymnastics Federation, and that is what brought acrobatic gymnastics into the wider world. And here it is at the World Games. And we are looking at the Netherlands, Nicole Ekelenboom and Jenty Verbrugge. And here we are in this dynamic final. Nice creative choreography to begin with from the Netherlands. So first big test will come up in a moment. Transition into the wrap back catch was nice. Working well with the music here. Now, here we go. Big release coming up. And landed securely. Height is really important in these elements. Verbrugge got a lot of height there. Control necessary, little adjustments made to the foot position. But secure once more. Nicely managed tuck. It's all looking pretty reasonable for the Netherlands so far. They'll be happy with how it's going. Very interesting routine. The choreography in that worked beautifully with the music. The Netherlands had a score of 24.65 in the balance with a 0.6 time penalty. So they found themselves positioned in 6th place after the balance side of things. That requires them to deliver something big here. It's 4 out of 6, the top 4 that will go through. Ekelenboom with her arm around Verbrugge. That's the wrap back catch. That's a popular catch in the dynamic elements of acrobatic gymnastics. Its counterpart, of course, the wrap front catch. And the gymnasts have to show, even though they receive some guidance in the landings, they have to show that they're able to support themselves on that landing, rather than look as though they're leaning onto the base gymnast as they do their landing. It's got to look secure in its own right. It's all smiles at the moment. It's a 25.83, a total of 50.48 for the Netherlands. So the balance and dynamic scores are added together. The People's Republic of China are next to go. Meng Ji and Wu Shiheng. And the duo from China had a score of 25.85 in the balance. First big moment. Oh, that was a tough skill. Keeping the control there, keeping the leg position secure, all important. Building nicely as a routine, this. Those little step backs by Meng Ji will receive deductions, but there was nice form in the tuck from Wu Shiheng. An example of complementary choreography there, the gymnasts doing different things but still working harmoniously. Big push off there for that landing. Looked impressive. Back catch, nice transition round. That was a nice linking of elements. Setting themselves for another big moment, another clean push off there. Nice little exclamation point put on that routine by the finishing position on the final note of the music. And that ability for the gymnast to work harmoniously with the orchestration they've chosen is so important. Finishing in time with the music as well avoids any deductions. Finishing early, finishing late, there will be a penalty for that or a deduction for that.
Maybe more important was the bronze medal they won with the team of China.
So in the qualification standings, we know that the Netherlands have 50.48, adding together their balance and dynamic. China, it was a 25.85 for them. It did put them out of the qualification positions after the first stage.
2020 will
Sense of partnership between the gymnasts is everything in acrobatic gymnastics. 26.82, they have a 52.67. Currently puts them in first place. The reigning world champions, Daria Gurieva, Daria Kalinina. They will very much be the favourites. It was a 29.75 that they hit in their balance element. What now in the dynamic for the Russian Federation? What a sensitive opening, building into this first key dynamic element. That was very secure too. Oh, once more, absolutely magical there from these gymnasts. We've seen people use music from La La Land on a few occasions in these games so far, in the artistic roller skating as well, as I recall. It does work well, it works so nicely. But it is big music and carries with it a need for the performers to really deliver something artistic. Pacey, secure back catch, transitioning round with plenty of rotations. Again in the triple tuck. Wasn't that a delight? How exciting to watch. Splendid work from Daria Gurieva and Daria Kalinina. You can see why they are the reigning world champions in the women's pairs. At the moment it is the People's Republic of China who are the highest qualifiers with 52.67. But do expect that to change.
The world champions, the current world champions, they will defend their titles.
Lovely body position in the pike.
Next year, in April.
The security of landing there. There was no adjustment step taken by Kalinina on the base.
Where they immediately won the gold medal.
This was one of the nicest transitions.
Four finalists.
Moving from the wrap back catch into the tuck.
From now on, everyone who scores better than 50
Well, they should be very confident here.
qualifies for the final.
Even Synchronized and giving a thumbs up. Now just a tiny hint of anticipation, but it's 29.15, 58.9 in total for the Russian Federation. They are in first place and they are heading into the final. No surprises there whatsoever.
W układzie dynamicznym dwójka żeńska reprezentantki Ukrainy Weronika Habelok I Irina Nazimowa.
From Ukraine next, Veronika Habelok and Irina Nazimova. A good chant from the stands for them. And well supported here in the Centennial Hall. They're in fourth place after the balance element with a score of 26.11. Holding for stability just for a moment. Only just the one adjustment step made. A couple more that time, but they've held that really well. Tidy landing, nice transition. Stirring and striking music. It requires complexity to live up to it. Some nice layering together of different elements going on from Ukraine. Lovely into the arched handstand, an element from the balance side of things. once more, very secure looking work. There's always such interesting choreography and such a sense of style to the routines that come from Ukraine in these competitions. They make bold artistic choices with their music. And that then lends itself to the construction of some very original routines.
Ukraine. Question for the next minute will be, who's the next finalist?
How nervous do they feel?
Will it be Ukraine?
We're going to find out a finalist in a moment, with the Russian Federation on 58.9, China 52.67 and Netherlands 50.48. So factor in Ukraine and someone there is going through. Real complexity there, even though the judges will make tiny deductions for any wobbles or any moments of instability, they also will credit the complexity of the piece.
No.
This particularly impressive.
On major tournaments so far for the girls pair of Ukraine, Veronika and Irina. And Ukraine is finalist number 2,
53.36 is the overall score for Ukraine. A 27.25 puts them in second place, and it puts them into the final.
Reprezentantki Stanów Zjednoczonych Emily Davis I Aubrey Rosilier.
For the United States of America, it is Emily Davis and Aubrey Rosilier. USA were the third highest finishers in the balance, 27.59. First big test coming here into that Diamondov lift. It's high tempo music. It requires a really intense delivery. There's a strong sequence across the diagonal. Adjustment there made to the change in the tempo of the music. Wrap back catch transitioned into the log roll. It's a popular combination in acrobatic gymnastics. V position into the wrap back position, and then a nice transition through to the tuck. That is the routine of the United States of America. It was a 27.59 for the balance. Had them well positioned in third place, with 4 out of the 6 going through. But how will this be the second time of asking for the duo from America? It was an interesting choice of music. It has to it considerable intensity, and the tough challenge is for the gymnast's own work to meet that.
Emily's the top, she's 14.
At times it certainly did.
So far, 2 finalists, Russian Federation and Ukraine.
It's all important artistic decisions that the gymnasts make and that their coaches make, reflected in the scores.
Depending on the results of the girls from the United States.
So we await the score for the USA here. And we know that the Russian Federation and Ukraine will be featuring in the final that's happening later. But will the United States of America also be participants? They look a little bit on the edgy side, the American duo there.
Second place, third finalist,
But they can be confident. 54.35 puts them in second place, a 26.76 for this routine. So the US will head through to the final.
here in Wroclaw. Final exercise in this qualification round for women's pairs.
We have just one pair to go. It's going to be Belgium. So this is where Belgium have the opportunity to lay down the challenge to Russia. They were just behind them after the balance, 29.55 to Russia's 29.75. What a lovely example of how gymnasts work with the irregularity of the music. Well steadied. And very assured in the landing there from Lamertin. Such creativity. Just a couple of adjustment steps made. They were all right. They were certainly all right then. That lovely spring out as well. Such a joy to watch. Vandenberg, of course, 18 years of age, and Lamertin on the top is only 14. But isn't she handling the occasion here? Another secure landing, and that little flourish as they move out of it makes it such a joy to watch. There's originality to Belgium's work. And facial expression as well. Storytelling, projection. There were elements of the Bolero by Ravel in there. There were a couple of people that made that very famous many, many years ago on a very different surface. But the Belgians, well, they will be making this their own. That was such an enjoyable display. Real originality and creativity. And that relationship with the music. It's an important part of the artistic score, the musicality, as is the expression, and you have to feel that was really strong in Belgium's display. So the Russian Federation sit in top spot on 58.9 with their qualification assured. Belgium you would expect to feature near that sort of mark. United States are on 54.35. So the score is in for Belgium, 57.63. They're in second place, and they will be participants in the women's pair final. And that means that we know who our finalists are going to be.
And the Netherlands leaving.
We'll have the official confirmation of that in due course. There's still a lot to come, but in this final it will be the Russian Federation, Belgium, the United States of America and Ukraine, with the People's Republic of China in reserve. So no further joy for the Netherlands. But the battle for gold between the Russian Federation and Belgium, that's the likely contest and will be a very interesting one. And you would think that the quest for bronze will be tight as well. Some good pairs in there, so someone's going to miss out that could well have a chance of a medal on another occasion. We look back at the very finest of moments in this dynamic exercise. The Russian Federation here. Daria Kalinina in the base position.
Might want to wait 4 or 5 minutes.
And the next routines, the final for these gymnasts, will be a combination of the balance and dynamic elements. So they have to put the best of both in to really please the judges. Moving on, in a moment we will have the mixed pairs qualification, and that's the balance for the mixed pairs. They've already done the dynamic side of things, so we'll have that in a moment. It's time for the mixed pair qualification, the balance exercise. The dynamic element has been completed, and we will look at Poland in the form of Wojciech Dagdziewicz and Julia Krasz, and into the balance. So first moment coming up here. Nicely from the straddle lever. You can see the hands wobbling, but the handstand is held, transitioning into a two-arm split handstand. A lot of strength needed here, a lot of control by Dagdziewicz. Straddle lever. And they can't neglect the musicality as well. Tell that story whilst holding those balances. More adjustment steps needed in the handstand there, and I'm not sure they managed to hold that for the requisite time. Interesting to see if that carries time penalties. For a 3-second hold to be absolutely sure. Difficult catch, a blind catch there. Certainly committing to this performance, Poland. They're taking full opportunity to display their skills in their host home World Games. Looking now for the arched handstand. Transition to add to the difficulty. Was nicely held there by Krasz. What a great reception for the Polish mixed pair combination. Acrobatic gymnastics here at these World Games in Wroclaw, Poland. Their score after the first routine was a 26.02. And it put them in 5th position. So they've got some ground to make up. It'll be intriguing to look at whether there are any penalties in there.
Let's wait for the results of these.
Nice balance shown here. The straddle lever and the support given by Wojciech Dakiewicz in the base position.
Together with some other athletes.
It can be very cruel when the judges decide those balance elements haven't been held for long enough.
They were runners-up in that show. They didn't win. 2nd place for them.
Awaiting the first scores to begin to discover who it is that's going to be progressing to the final of the mixed pairs competition. And the home fans are anxiously waiting it as well. Some people are enjoying the sport of acrobatic gymnastics for the very first time. Julia Klei looks like she can barely bring herself to look here at this.
Balance exercise for mixed pairs.
Plenty more acrobatic gymnastics to come in future days as well, of course, here at the Centennial Hall. And it's a venue that's really lent itself to gymnastics very nicely indeed, this stately venue from 1913. A really key part of the games, the competitions that have been held here. The atmosphere for the aerobic and rhythmic competitions was just terrific.
The balance exercise, ladies and gentlemen, consists of a series of balance elements.
There's still no score so far.
For 3 seconds.
And in it comes. The score for Poland is a 23.97. So that gives them a score of 49.99. There it is, the confirmation. So no penalties. And a 49.99 total score for Poland. Puts them in first place. They are the only ones to go so far. Jean Martins, Carolina Diaz, Portugal. Diaz, another gymnast in this competition, just 14 years of age. Lovely control there, going into the planche. The split handstand, moving into an arched handstand. Complex, delicate but strong transitions, going back again into the straddle planche. Moving back once more, going here for a full overarch. The feet need to get beyond the hands of the gymnast. Shown some complex balance elements so far, have Portugal. Building to another. Split handstand. Transition to one arm worked nicely there. Now back into that straddle planche. Real control demonstrated moving into the overarch. underestimate the enormous work put in by Martins. A really compelling sense of partnership between João Martins and Carolina Dias of Portugal. They scored a 28.56 in the first routine, in the dynamic. So they were well positioned as the second highest qualifiers. But let's see what happens in the judges' evaluation of this exercise. Will that affect their status? Will they move up? Will they move down? Moments of real stillness from Dias in these balance elements. And the difficulty there of that transition of what Martins is doing at the base. Really accentuated when you see it at a much slower speed.
They were second after the qualifications. 56.990 for Portugal. João Martins and
Portugal's score is in. It's 28.43. They have a 56.99, currently in first place.
Reprezentanci Rosji Marina Czernowa I Georgi Pataraja.
The world champions, Marina Chernova, Georgi Pataraja, the Russian Federation. They were the highest performers in the dynamic with a 29.69. You would really expect them to layer the difficulty here in these balances, to have tidy transitions. And they're very experienced working together, so their sense of partnership is always strong. Well, that into the one-handed flag. Just a delight. Such control in the split handstand. And the extra touch of difficulty added there by Chernova. And then more layering of the complexity of this piece. Certainly made its impression on the crowd here, this routine. Blink and you'll miss it, isn't it? The speed. Very secure again in the one-arm flag. Adjustment by Pataraja as he moves down first into the splits, then into a seated position. Transitioning into the overarch, or the arched handstand rather. Real sense of musical awareness. Maria Chenova, Georgi Pataraya. At times, they could not be more different in the things that they're doing and the way they're doing things, and yet in the flick of a switch, they return to being so blended and so synchronized.
They made their first appearance.
They are such an exciting pair of gymnasts.
In Cali in 2013.
They await their score. Trying to build on a 29.69 from the dynamic. So these are the third pair to go. We're going to start to get an idea of who's in and who's waiting, with the final coming later on in this session. Beautiful form in these balances, and it's the layering, the building of one element into another, cleanliness of the transitions.
Winners of the World Championships.
It was a very exciting balance routine. It was a very exciting balance routine. 30.64. The score for the Russian Federation puts them out in front and into the final.
We go to Belarus now.
Na planszy przed Państwem tymczasem reprezentanci Białorusi Wolga Mielnik i Artur Bielakow.
Representing Belarus, Volha Melnik, Artur Belyakov. Melnik and Belyakov had a 27.97 in the dynamic element, putting them in third position. Highly expressive start. Sense of character. Now moving into the first big balance, a little bit wobbly getting that set. They've done it now. That's a tough transition into the one-arm split handstand. Moving into the one-arm flag. Making sure of the judges' evaluation by holding that on. There's a sense of absolute poise to the way that they perform. Straddle planche. Tiniest change there as the music picks up, sensitively interpreted. So secure moving into the ring balance. Effortless escape from it. Making sure to make full use of the space as well. The duo from Belarus, Volha Melnik, Artur Belyakov. Seeing a wonderful standard so far in these balance routines. Still to come, Great Britain and the United States of America. First, the judges do their work now that they have done their work.
We forgot to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that
And they
the first finalist,
excitingly built into these balance elements with such a sense of kinetic energy that
the Belarus now
force here into a totally stationary controlled position.
winners of that World Cup in Rzeszów.
Highly impressive and will not go unnoticed, you would think.
Rzeszów, the town that will host the European Championships Acrobatic Gymnastics in October. So Poland is definitely the place to be when it comes to acro this year. First the World Games, then the European Championships in 2 months or 3 months. Here's the score, 56.730. Portugal goes to
The score has come in for Belarus, 28.76. They're on 56.73 and currently sit in third place. Just behind Portugal, it's 56.99 to 56.73 there. That is tight. Axel Osborne and Tiffany Williams of the United States of America. They were the lowest scorers in the dynamic side of things, 24.57, so much to build upon here. Striking start. Can it be matched with a strong balance here? A lot of strength moving up into the split handstand, just the tiniest adjustment of footwork made by Osborne. That's nice, into the partial ring. Lovely extension on the leg left behind there by Williams. Harmoniously with the choice of music. Straddle lever, moves into a straddle planche, moment of unsteadiness or up into the split handstand, and that Williams was just working a little hard to maintain. She goes back into the straddle planche. That looks more secure. A moment to get ready for the straddle planche there into the overarch. That's a very flexible overarch. Look at the feet position compared to the hand position. No doubt about that one. This will be an interesting build. They can keep this steady. Double straddle planche, and what a nice escape from the planche position. Very striking finish there from the USA. There were some unusual moments to that routine. A lot of smiles on the faces of the crowd. There were moments where things weren't quite secure in the balances, where there were wobbles here and there, but there were also some highly original elements. So the USA were positioned last after the dynamic, 24.57. They have got quite a bit of ground to make up here. At the moment, the fourth qualifying position is occupied by Poland on 48.49. You would expect that to change. It will be possibly the US or Great Britain that go through. Obviously, we can't preempt anything until the score has come through. See the moments of slight unsteadiness there that are always rendered crueler by the wonderful slow motion work. But this was exciting, the transition right at the end. Straddle lever into straddle planche by both gymnasts. 52.6 for the US. It puts them in 4th place at the moment with 1 pair to go. So they're in a qualification spot for now. Lewis Walker and Catherine Williams of Great Britain are the last pair to go. Their position was 27.18 in the 4th place after the dynamic routine. First big balance moment. Looking pretty stable in the split handstand. 16 years of age, Williams. Having to hold that steady, that one-handed split handstand. Moving into the arched handstand. And transitioning neatly into the ring. This builds very interestingly in terms of the orchestration and the routine. The swell in the music must be matched by what the gymnasts do. See the look of readiness moving into this balance element. Secure, 2-armed handstand. Now the transition into the split handstand. To the arched handstand. One arm support from the base. Neatly transitioned. Maintaining a nice sense of elegance. Lovely height there. Walker. And an elaborate finishing sequence. Moving work from Great Britain. And what they are chasing is a score in excess of 52.6 total. And that would put the British duo into the final. Lewis Walker was a bronze medalist at World Championship level last year in China. Isabella Montagna was his partner, now working with Catherine Williams. This is an event that has yielded great success for Great Britain in the past. In 2013, Dominic Smith and Alice Upcott won the gold medal. We know that the Russian Federation on 60.33 are way out there. Portugal 56.99, Belarus 56.73, and the US 52.6. So is it the US who are sitting a little uncomfortably now waiting for the score of the British duo Walker and Williams to come in? So there are finals waiting to come later And Great Britain will be participating in that. 55.35 the score for Great Britain. So we know the outcome now of the final in the mixed pairs competition, as we also do for the trampolining men's synchro and as we do for the women's pairs, and all that to come.
Zapraszamy Państwa na przerwę do godziny 19, o której rozpoczniemy finały na trampolinach. Proszę Państwa, przypominamy jeszcze, że jeśli mają Państwo bilety, ale chcą Państwo na jakiś czas opuścić obieg, to muszą się Państwo zaopatrzyć w pieczątkę, żeby mogli Państwo bezproblemowo do nas wrócić.